Does Ryan Garcia deserve to be banned from the sport of boxing for life? A lot of people within the boxing community, including big names like Shakur Stevenson, Timothy Bradley, they all think that Ryan Garcia should be banned for life, and they're not happy because obviously a lot of people didn't expect that outcome with Devin Haney. That wasn't part of the plan. Ryan Garcia wasn't supposed to win that fight. So when it did, and everybody, all the experts, the boxers that picked Devin Haney, and most of the boxing community did pick Devin, you know, when the outcome we saw took place, people weren't happy. I'm sure some people lost money, some people weren't happy that their pick was wrong. So inevitably, when we find out about the Austrian test, everybody jumps on it and says, you know, this is, you know, no wonder, get him out of boxing, do this and that. For me personally, in my opinion, it's a tough kind of gray area where I like watching Ryan Garcia fight. If I'm being, you know, selfish, from a selfish perspective, I find it exciting when he fights. You know, I think he's a character. I think he's entertaining. He has the personality to promote fights like no other in the sport right now. I know that he's a household name. He's such a huge celebrity, and a lot of people support him because of that. And as entertaining as he is, you know, I can't defend cheating in the sport of boxing. I think he deserves some sort of repercussion, and the New York Athletic Commission determined that it would be a 1-year suspension, so we're not going to see Ryan for a year. And for me, it's unfortunate because I like watching him fight. I think he's entertaining, and his style, to me, you know, is exciting to watch, especially against guys that are elite. And against Devin Haney, you should have seen my reaction. I was jumping out of my chair because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I had picked Devin Haney to win, and I was just so shocked by what Ryan Garcia was able to do. Don't get me wrong, I still said that, you know, Devin would have to negate that left hook for 12 rounds. That's the big gamble, but I trusted so much in Devin's discipline and, you know, his defense. But, you know, Ryan Garcia does have that left hook. It's a weapon that you can't underestimate. He had no answer for it. Even when he got cracked in the first round, there was really no adjustment but to get into survival mode. But I understand that because Devin was hurt very badly in the very first round. So you can imagine, you know, having so much confidence going into that fight thinking that this is going to probably be easy. You know, this guy's not on my level. That's what was going through Devin Haney's brain. But I also think the nerves, the stage got to him. No matter what you guys say, Devin Haney had never been on that stage as big as the one he was on with Ryan Garcia. So I think that got to him, and essentially he got timed. You know, that happens in the sport of boxing. No matter how good you are, timing beats speed. Timing can beat your IQ, and that's what happened to Devin, inevitably, in my opinion. I'm not saying that, you know, Austrian should be allowed. I'm not saying that they should take away the 1-year suspension that Ryan Garcia is going to deal with. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that I believe, in my opinion, that Devin Haney just got timed by Ryan. I think that's what happened. And a lot of people, you know, even as a fan of Devin, I know that, you know, he has to close up those gaps in his game, or else not only can Ryan Garcia beat you, but a lot of big punchers will be able to beat you. So I'm curious to see, as much as I like Devin, I think he has the best jab in boxing still. I still think he's an elite fighter and can still compete at the highest level, but I don't know how his chin will hold up. It's a lot of it for me is only able to be answered, you know, by Devin's mentality. You know, how is he doing psychologically is more so my concern, because I know that the motor skills, and he's gonna come in shape, you know, physique wise, he's gonna make weight, this and that. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about where is he at mentally. Is he gonna go into a fight gun shy now? Is he gonna be overly defensive, and is he gonna be very, you know, economical with his shots? That could be a good thing. But, you know, if you're too scared to pull the trigger with the threat of getting countered now, that's the kind of stuff I'm worried about coming from Devin Haney. You know, that's why we need to see him rack up some big wins before he even thinks about getting in the ring with a guy like Tank or a guy like Teofimo Lopez. There are a lot of big punchers right now, so he has to be very strategic in who he picks. You know, Tank obviously coming off that big win against Frank Martin, that was a very good fight, but you just look at that fight and you're like, I don't like this fight for Devin right now. But that's recency bias, just based off, you know, their most recent performances. But we can only judge fighters based on what we see, right? Boxing's a very big, you know, what have you done for me lately kind of sport, and that's the way it's always been. That's why boxing fans are always like, they love you one day, they hate you the next day, because what have you done for me recently? And recently, Devin Haney has upset a lot of boxing fans. Let's be real. If you look on any of Devin Haney's social media, and I'm totally against this. I don't like this aspect of boxing where social media is honestly such a big role in what happens in the sport, to be honest. Like, people don't understand how influential their opinions are on social media. You might think that your comment is just your opinion and it's just one tweet, but you don't understand, you know, when it gains traction and it has a lot of likes, and then Devin Haney is gonna have to see it. You know, I've said in another video that I think Devin should stay away from social media because boxing is in a weird space right now where it's almost dictated and heavily impacted by social media. Social media has such a heavy influence on the sport of boxing, and that's just the way it is. So when Devin's seeing all this stuff, his brain's inevitably gonna be like, huh, is this true? Like, did I really get cracked? Is the Ostarine really, you know, that effective to the point where it impacted Ryan's performance, or did I just get caught? And let's put, you know, if I was in Devin's shoes, let me tell you what I would do if I was in Devin's shoes. I would be like, no matter what, let's just take it as a loss. In my brain, I'm not saying, you know, he could try to overturn it, get it to a disqualification win, even though it's a no contest right now. He can do all that. But in his brain, he should take it as a loss and be like, I need to close this hole up. I need to stop, you know, throwing that bow and arrow jab. I need to negate that left hook, circle off to Ryan Garcia's right side. I'd rather run into the right hand than the left hook. I'm not getting hit with that left hook. You know, he's a one-trick pony, but I'm not getting hit with that one trick. So that's the kind of stuff that Devin has to think about. You know, if he has to make it a boring fight, make it a boring fight. You know, you can't be fighting in the center of the ring. And still, even at that point, you know, Ryan Garcia is so talented to the point where maybe he catches with Devin again and it's the same outcome or worse. You know, anything's possible at this point, but it's just such an interesting fight, the rematch now, because, like, honestly, no matter what people say, even if you're on the side, you know, majority of people are defending Ryan Garcia and saying that even without the Ostarine, you know, he does the same thing. And no matter what, we still have to see it, and we can't say that for sure. So for everybody saying they don't want to see a rematch, I guarantee when Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia do have a rematch, you're going to tune in, because the narrative is so much greater than it's ever been. Because Devin Haney, no matter what, even though he gets the no contest, the decision gets overturned, he has to prove it in the ring to the boxing fans. They're not going to let him get away with it. They're not going to forget what Ryan Garcia did to him, Ostarine or not. And maybe it's not fair, but he's going to have to avenge that loss inside that ring. And that's just the way it is. That's the cruel reality of the sport of boxing. Like, even though that Ryan Garcia, you know, is the one that tested positive, he's the one that technically cheated. People are going after Devin Haney for complaining about it. And, like, if you guys think about it, if you're in Devin Haney's shoes, what are you going to do if you find out that your opponent tests positive for a PED? Are you going to stay quiet? I don't know. Like, you might, and maybe some of you are built different, but if my opponent tested positive for PEDs, I'm throwing a fit. I'm going, hey, that guy tested positive for PEDs. That's the only reason he beat me. I'd probably do that too. You know, you got to understand where Devin's coming from. He is a very talented fighter, and you can't blame a guy for trying to protect his record, because you know how it is nowadays, especially within the promoters. People always like to say, you know, fighters got to stop caring so much about their undefeated records. Promoters care about that too. You know, you can't go into negotiations nowadays and think you're the A side if you have a loss, unless you're a guy like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is really the only example, and you have guys like Canelo, but that was earned years and years later. You know, Canelo didn't just become the cash cow of the sport of boxing. He had a fight with Floyd, and then he went through all these other wins and dominated other fighters, moved up in weight, and then became the cash cow. But you know, right now when it comes to prospects, if you have a loss, it's a big stain. So, like, I always get a little bit irritated when people, you know, I understand the aspect of the best fighting the best. I'm on board with you guys, but people also have to understand that time has changed, and now an undefeated record can make the difference between you making millions of dollars and just, you know, 400, 500,000. That's a big difference today in the sport of boxing. So, not trying to say that fighters should duck other fighters. I want the best to fight the best, but you guys got to understand that that's the reason why people are protecting their O's, is because of that Floyd Mayweather effect, because they want to make the biggest bags that they can. And so I can't blame these fighters for doing all that. But at the end of the day, do I think Ryan Garcia deserves a lifetime ban? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because part of me still, you know, my instincts tell me that he didn't do it intentionally. And I'm not I'm not trying to say, you know, give him an out. He's going to deal with the New York Athletic Commission no matter what. So it doesn't matter what I say. But, you know, ultimately, I want to see him back in the ring. I want to see the rematch. And I do think that Ryan Garcia is one of those fighters that boxing needs in order to translate fans from outside of the sport and grow the community of the sport. So I do like Ryan Garcia. I think he's entertaining, but he will serve this suspension and then come back. And I'm sure that, you know, people will be very excited about his return fight. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nads Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.